Would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas Day. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas Eve and got to spend time with family and friends and loved ones. It is unfortunate, however, that there was an event this morning that needs to be covered. I wasn't going to do a video on this, but as information has come out, it correlates to something this channel talked about 6 weeks ago, 4 to 6 weeks ago. For those of you who are unaware, very near Titans Stadium, there was a massive blast this morning. Now, there was absolutely no loss of anyone. There were 3 very, very minor injuries, and they have been already released. So this is just property damage. There are 2 things about it, though, that are very odd. The first thing is the audio warning that I'm sure a lot of you have already heard. I, of course, cannot play it because YouTube has already gotten ahead of it. And if they hear it, this video won't go up. The second thing is that the reporting from the authorities is that it appears to be, quote unquote, an intentional act. Now, notice they don't say a criminal act, and they don't call it a terrorist act or a terrorist attack or anything like that. Just intentional. You see, that's key. That is very, very key. Now, as far as the warning goes, the audio warning that blasted, that there's audio of, you can find it all over the place, sounds incredibly official. Even different reporters from different news outlets have said, that sounds like some kind of a recorded official warning. It does. What it reminded me of is when in the military, and some of you guys in the military can confirm this, when they were turning on like a radar system for like the Patriot missile, those radars are incredibly powerful, and a human being can't be anywhere near the front of one of those things when it turns on because of what it would do to you. So they have these audio warnings that you need to evacuate a certain area, you need to be away from that area, you are not authorized to be in that area. Usually there were other types of alarms and alerts as well. But we covered, this is October 20, so this goes back almost 2 months. These 2 strange flashes that occurred in the infrared that were picked up by a channel called Dachintz. And we correlated the flashes to 4 known military facilities and NASA facilities. Actually, 3 Air Force and 1 NASA. 138th Fighter Wing in Oklahoma, Chennault Field in Louisiana, which is a known NASA facility. The 53rd Weapons Evaluation Group here, Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida, but the one we're going to talk about today is up in Tennessee, the 118th Air Intelligence Wing, located at Berry Field, just outside of Nashville. Now, where this explosion occurred and the 118th, they're only about 6 miles apart. But when you draw a line from one to the other, it points at something. We also reported during this time there was a loss of 3 very high-ranking Space Force assets. In one little private plane, there was an Air Force 06, which is colonel, 03, which is a captain. I believe that was her assistant, 2 females. And then there was also an enlisted E8. And they were all members of the 18th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Group, along with being members of the 118th in Nashville. They were a Space Force unit. Now, what all 3 of those ranking assets were doing in one private plane, I don't know. I don't think anybody can say, but this is the logo for the 18th Intelligence Squadron. Now, this was something a lot of people didn't pick up on. This right here is the crash site near McMinnville, Tennessee, which is kind of south and east of Nashville. I did the very best I could to correlate everything, and I got a bunch of links here that we put up back in the late October when this all came out, but this is what I wanted to show you guys. I was able to pinpoint, generally speaking, where this happened in Nashville because of that picture, that 2nd Avenue and Church. That's right here, and you can see in that first picture, here's Titan Stadium. The picture was being taken looking kind of to the northeast. Okay, so that's where that is. Now, many people were unaware that the 118th Intelligence Squadron, a drone group, was operating out of Nashville International Airport, 6 miles away. Now, anybody can draw a line between 2 points anywhere on the globe. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. But when you can line up 3 things, that's not a coincidence. We're going to go ahead and draw a 3rd point on here. And if you draw a line from the explosion site directly through the hangar where they fly these drones, it takes you to McMinnville, Tennessee, and where the crash site was. Now, to line up 3 points like this, with 3 events like this, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence. What we know of the crash site is it was somewhere near Airport Road, somewhere near a farmer's field. That's all we really know about that because there was so little reporting on this. I did the best I could from the one map that they provided. And that's right here. Now, here's the strange thing about the warning. I made a very strange allegation a long time ago that many people laughed at. But I want to show you guys this. This is 6 August of this year. New class of laser beam doesn't follow normal laws of refraction. They have a new type of beam called a space-time wave packet. It follows different rules when it refracts as it passes through different materials. Now, here's the thing about this that makes it very strange. A guy involved with the production of this laser says, as such, these pulses of light, these lasers, can arrive at different points in space at the same time. Now, this also says, basically anyone who knows anything about math or physics, that those pulses of light could arrive at the same point in space at different times, meaning they could fire lasers through time. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but that is the case. If they can take a laser and have it fired and have it hit 2 points in space at the same time, that's basically saying the same thing. That they literally are not constrained by the laws of linear time. And now we have these 3 points. These 3 events in the most unlikely of places. Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, this is just way too much of a coincidence for me, guys. I mean, that you had a secret drone program being operated out of an international airport in Tennessee. That was a giant shock to a lot of people. It's like, okay, the loss of the 3 high-ranking Air Force assets, okay, very, very strange that those 3 would have been in the same small plane at the same time. It almost sounds like it has to be some kind of a security violation if they were all off duty to be in that type of a precarious situation. All 3 of them. There was one for sure pilot, the 06, but the fact that they were part of the drone program knows they had to all have had some basic knowledge, if not of plane operation or flight operations, they would have had the ability to use a radio if there was some kind of a problem. And to this day, there's never been any indication that they gave a radio call saying that there was a problem. So you have those two things. But then when you can take a third thing now, this event, and you can draw a straight line between those three things, I, I know coincidences do occur sometimes, but this seems like an awful strange one. And I will down in the description, I will give you all of these locations. The explosion location is general, but we did see a picture of where it was. And second, basically the corner of 2nd and Church. In fact, the picture has rocket fizz right here. Where was it? There it is. Rocket Fizz Nashville. That was in the picture where you saw the remnants of the explosion, and there's Titan Stadium. You could see it. And so generally speaking, right here, and McMinnville, Tennessee, right here. And that's where they're flying a drone program out of that nobody knew about. So I'll keep my eyes on this, but that warning sounded really, really, really official. Now, somebody could have recorded it, but why would somebody do that? What would then be the point? There was nothing there of any real strategic importance. I'm sure more information and more official stories are going to come out about this. But I'll give you guys links to the videos where we talked about this last October. And like I said, all of the points on the map, and you can make your own decision. But anyway, have a happy rest of your day. God bless. Like, share, subscribe.